Hi guys, so in today's video, I'm going to make the little bag that you just saw, obviously in the intro there, and I'll be using things that are in my stash. I've been doing this every few days. I would like to do more of them, but you know, I have other videos I have to get to also. So if any of these items are still available, I'll link in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. What I'm hoping is that you have something that, you know, will work for you if you need a quick little bag. I did a video that initially was to accompany a tonic layout that I had done in one of their magazines, and they were supposed to have QR codes in those magazines, and then they decided not to do that part, so then the video was just my video, you know, I could just release whenever, so I released it, and it was probably from like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I don't remember. I released it recently just so you guys can check it out. People had questions still about the measurements, and although I gave the measurements in the video, I think I, you know, just kind of didn't repeat them as much as I normally do because the magazine had all that written up, and it even had images of what that looks like, you know, as far as the scoring and all that. So today I will repeat the things like I normally do, but I also used A4 size paper in that one because that's what Tonic works with for the most part. If you're buying paper in the US, they usually are A2 size papers, but it's a little different, right? So today I'm going to use A2 size paper, so if you're in the US, you can still copy it, and I'm going to try just max out the A2 size paper. I don't really have a lot of double-sided A2 size paper. In the other video I had it was double-sided, so I turned over the little cuff and it was cute. You know, there's different ways to do that. I don't know if I'll do the cuff in this video because it doesn't really need to be there. It does look nicer though, it finishes off the bag. So maybe we'll still do it. That way if you have something double-sided, you can still do a little cuff on it, I suppose. Why not? What else? Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that. My daughter, she's so cute. She's 9 years old. She's in 4th grade, and she's like, "Oh, I have to make something for our Secret Santa." And I'm like, "Okay." Between her and her little friends, they put together Secret Santa. But what they're doing is you have to make something for the person that you received. You know, the name that you drew. And I thought that was very cute. And I do want to set her up for, you know, maybe possibly being disappointed. Like, what if her friend doesn't, you know, make something, or if they run out of time or whatever, like, are you gonna be upset? I said, and she's like, no. I said, okay, like, that's the way to look at it, right? So she already started, and she made a little ring for one of her friends with like some rainbow loom kind of stuff, and she's also gonna make her a little stuffy out of felt that she's been working on, little felt creatures or whatever. So I think that's really cute. And then, you know, I'm just gonna put it in something. So I thought, well, this will be cute. I'll kind of coordinate it with what she did with her little ring and just make a little bag. And so that's what we're going to do today, make the bag. And then I have all these dies that I have yet to play with. So, you know, if I can decorate with some of these things, I will do that. I don't know. We'll see. So, just a little stack of hunky-dory items I had picked up that I haven't gotten to play with quite yet. Ooh, oh, I love these. That'll be for a different... Well, no, because there are some cute little motifs in here. I was planning on closing it up with a mandala shape. We'll see. This one has nothing to do with anything. It just was in the stack. So... I did bring out some papers to coordinate. Like I said, I want to do like a doily. I think the bag itself I'll do from this purple paper. And let's come up with some numbers. I just grabbed a scrap piece of paper, but I did not grab a pen because that's just how far ahead I think of things. Hold on. You know, I should have one sitting here. And here we go. Okay. So I don't quite remember what I did in the other video. Obviously I came up with the numbers. What I want to do is make it simple so that you don't have to really cut anything off other than like the scoring and then making it into like a bag shape. So I was kind of getting ready for this, and I thought if I had 1.5 inch sides, that's already going to take 3 inches off of this without even having a glue tab yet. And so that'd be fine. So 1.5, 1.5. I do like kind of overlapping, well, obviously the glue tab part. And that should leave, let's see, that's 3 inches. We need some kind of glue tab. That leaves about 8 inches on the 11-inch side of your paper, right? Because we all know this is 11 inches. And this is 8.5. So if we are leaving that, and I want to score, you know, the side of the bag, the front of the bag somewhere. Obviously we have to echo the side of the bag again. And then the back of the bag with a glue tab, right? If we do 8 inches, 4 and 4, we still need some kind of glue. How about if we do 1 3/4? 1 3/4. Let's think, that's a little thicker, right? Which is nice. That's 2, 3, 3.5. That takes away 3.5 inches, so that leaves us 7.5. Is that right? Yes. And then we want to divide that by 2. So that would be 3.5. If you divide that by 2, it would be 3 3/4, right? 3.5 plus another quarter. So these areas can be 3 3/4. Oh, I wrote that in a weird way. 3 3/4. 3 and, oh my gosh. No, we don't. We still need a glue tab, don't we? Let me think about this again. Oh, you know what? Hello. Let's not do that. Let's do 3.5. 3.5, 3 and 1/2. Oopsie. And that should leave us a 1/2 inch glue tab. That works. And that leaves a 1/2 inch here. Instead of taking that, you know what I'm saying? Let's just cut this so it's 3.5 of the 7 and leave the 1/2 inch for a glue tab. We'll go over the numbers again in just a minute. I'm just showing you how I come up with these things. And obviously this is 8.5 inches tall. It's going to be 3.5 inches wide. So if you think about it, that's only about this wide. We don't want it to be like super tall because it'll be weird. So let's think it like proportionally. If it's this wide, 3.5, maybe we want the tallest to be 5 inches. Would that leave us anything? Okay, so at the bottom, it should still be 1 3/4 here at the bottom, at least, because you want it to be the same as the side, right? Basically the same thickness for the most part. So let's say 1 3/4. We already know we're taking that away from 8.5. So we took away 2, that would be 6.5. Add another, so 6 3/4. We'd be left with 6 3/4 to play with. If we have a little tab at the top that we turn down. Yeah, so let's make the top tab 1 inch over here that we're going to turn down, and then whatever's left in here should be 5 3/4 inches. Okay, I'm going to write this up again in a nice clean way, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if you have an A2 size paper, it's 8.5 by 11. What I'm going to do is the very top of the 8.5 inch side, score at 1 inch, and then score at 1 3/4 inch from the bottom. That's just an easy way of thinking about it. And then this one, this space here needs to be 1 3/4. This one needs to be 3.5, 1 3/4, 3.5. Then you have a 1/2 inch at the end. So what you're going to do is we're going to do the math. So the first one is going to be at 1 3/4, right? Our first score line. The next one's going to be at 4 plus a 1/2. 4 plus 1 1/4. So 5. This one should be 5 1/4. Plus 1 3/4 again. So 1 3/4 1/4 is 1. 5, 6, 7, so that should be at 7 inches, and then 10.5, because we already know we only have 1/2 inch left over here, plus that's an easy thing. So we're going to score at 1 3/4, 5 1/4, 7, and 10.5. So let me get my scoring board and we'll just get right to it. So we can definitely do this on your trimmer, right? Because the paper trimmer is going to have everything, and you can make your cut lines and all that. But for right now, we're just going to do it on this guy. So let's just start on this long side. On the 8.5 inch side, I'm going to score at 1 inch on the top, right? So I'm just going all the way down. And on this side, we're going to do 1 3/4. So I'm just going to turn it to make it easy and score at 1 3/4. But you can definitely do the math and come up with the number. You know, obviously it's not that hard to come up with, but 1 3/4. It just makes it easier. 1 inch and 1 3/4. Okay. And on this side, I'm just going to turn it back up so that the 1 inch piece is at the top. I don't know if it makes a real big difference. It might. So I'm just still 1 inch at the top. And on this one, we're going to do our score lines across the 11 inch side. So 1 3/4. This does not have a gusset, but in the last video I showed you kind of how you make a gusset. You were just going to squeeze it, so I'm not going to worry about it. This can make a little bag that stands up, or you can close it up, right? 5 1/4. 5 1/4. What else we got? 5 1/4. At 7. And the last one at 10.5. And it looks a little bit funky, but that should work. So let's talk about this again. On this side, the 8.5 inch side, we're scoring at 1 inch, and then at 1 3/4 on the other end, right? And then when we go to score it with a 1 inch tab at the top, we're going to score at 1 3/4. 5 1/4, 7, and 10.5. And that should be it. So now we have all these grid lines here that we are going to cut into. I'm going to keep these little middle squares nice and pretty much the way they are. I might trim them down just a little bit. We'll talk about that in just a minute, because in my mind, once we're scoring, and this is the base of our purse or our little bag, obviously these guys can just lay over each other, but I do want to kind of stylize them just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is cut into this tab. I'm going to keep this. We're not cutting it away, okay, because I want it to be there to help me glue this all together. So I'm going to cut on this tab up to the score line, and I'm going to take a little bit off of the bottom of the bag of this glue tab right here. You know, these are all basically glue tabs. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, just cut a little bit inside of my score line. And I'm just eyeballing this. If you want it to be perfectly the same, one notch away from the other one, you can definitely cut it and then take that piece you just cut off, reverse it, like turn it over, place it on here, and then cut it so it's pretty much the same, right? Here, same thing. I'm going to take a little bit off of to the left of this glue tab. And then this guy again, I'm just going to take a little bit because we do want it to still be there to help us glue things. And then I believe I don't need this at all. I don't think I need this piece. So I'm going to cut this away, again at a nice little angle, and then I'm just going to cut this end off. And to make this close up a little better and look a little nicer, I'm going to notch away a little bit of that one. Okay, so that's the bottom, and I'll take a little tiny bit off of this end, just so it closes up nicer. Okay, those are all just little style choices. At the very top, what we're going to have is basically a cuff at the top, and I'm just going to score it on this line because I don't want to cut these. I kind of want to just keep them where they are, but we are going to get rid of some of this when we get there. So since I haven't really planned that out in my head quite thus far, I think what I'm going to do is remove this actually. Just want to make sure in my mind that I'm doing this right. So on this one, we're just going to get rid of this little guy. We don't need it. And then again, I'll notch away just a little something here so that this glue tab is more stylized. Okay, let me clean up a little bit and then we'll just score and glue. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and give this a nice score. Now, the glue tab is going to go in. I'm sorry, it's kind of outside of the frame. Am I all the way out? Yeah, I am. Okay. That's one thing about this newer camera. It's actually a couple years old now. It's too close, you know? Anyway, so we folded this forward. Let's say we had double-sided paper. You would see the other side. It'd be really cute. And this glue tab is folded up in. I'm going to turn this over. Also, all these pieces we're just going to fold in. And, I mean, you can play around with these numbers. I did 1 3/4 just to give you some size in there, you know? I'm going to go ahead and fold this, and I am folding this top part at the same time. You can see it's folded over. You can glue that down, you can leave it free-flowing, whatever you like. I'm just going to score on the other one. I'm just kind of using my hands at this point because we do have 2 pieces of paper occupying the same space, and you know, that's never, it's not great. Let me use this because I need a little help. But sometimes, like when you make it pop-ups or things like that, it's just not super wonderful at either of those two. So I'm just kind of letting them do their own thing. That's why I didn't really glue it down. And this is basically the base of our bag here. So what I'm going to do is the base here, take both of these guys and have them facing in, right? One glue tab this way, one that way, and that's kind of why I cut it, just so it looks a little more stylish at the bottom instead of just being straight across, and maybe it's a little bit off and maybe it's a little bit wonky. It just makes it look nicer. So that's what I was thinking for that. I'm going to put glue more like on the inside panels here. Hope that works. And then we'll bring this down. And I'll put glue on the back of this guy. And we could have glued it shut on the side first, which probably is a better idea. But for now, I did what I did, and so I'm going to go with it. Keeping this nice and square, the bottom here. And this reaches all the way across. I mean, if you want to make it look more like a gift bag, like you might have bought at the store, you can cut it a little bit. I'm just going to hold that till it's set up. And just give it a moment. And then after a little while, I'll turn it over and kind of see how the tabs are up. I want to get those pushed down so that they're touching, right? I want that glue helping us out. So it's going to be super sturdy on the bottom. You have 4 layers, basically. I mean, the 2 in the center pretty much touch. And I didn't even think about that, to be honest, and that's like perfect. Cool. I'll be back. I just put it down on its base and just kind of make sure to get that pushed in there. And then this piece, I'm just gonna glue up here. Now, I could have left that one little tab and kind of linked it in. You know, this piece that we cut off. It could have just been here and then just cut that other portion and then link it in there, but I did what I did and I'm just gonna go with it. All right, so we're gonna put some glue here. All right, and I'm just gonna hold that down right on the edge and I'll be back. So I am done with the basic bag. A couple of notes as I'm working this. Of course, I just, came off the top of my mind and I was putting this together, although I did something similar before. I am going to put a little bit of glue here just to hold that down and glue here. Again, we could have left that glue tab. You just had to kind of like get it in here and glue them together, I suppose, if that's what you want to do. But for now, I'm just kind of ending it just with those two being glued. This will be the front of my bag because I do have that seam in the back right here where the glue tab is, and I'd rather have that facing the back, and this will be the front. But if I had thought about it, this guy is coming forward here, and you don't really see it, but I mean, you can see it. What I would do next time when I'm thinking about this is put this flap over this one. So this one would go down first, and then this guy on top. That way it just looks seamless, this whole front area, right? Even though, I mean, it's hard to notice. But just something to think about. Yeah, so let's see here. Just holding that. So in my mind, right now at this point, you can, pop little holes in here, put some raffia, put some twine, put some ribbon, whatever it is that you want to do as far as handles. You can do paper handles. Oh, a nice way of doing paper handles. Let me see if I have something. I don't really have. Okay, I'm going to cut this paper. I don't really have anything to show it with, but let's say you had like maybe half-inch piece of paper, a half-inch strip, and then whatever length or size you want. And I would glue one side here and kind of give it a little roundness, and then glue the other one out here. You can put them on the inside, a little more stylized. Of course, do the same thing on the other side. You can actually just go ahead and crease them if you want. It doesn't have to stay rounded. You can do this kind of thing. And I would probably score them, but give them a score so that when you do this, it already has its own little lines. I'm just doing this by hand, guys. And then glue it down so then you have like more of a squared off look. Whatever it is that you want to do, there's lots of ways to do handles, right? Today I'm going to close mine up, but I'm not going to do it now because obviously I need to put Miranda's little gifts in here. But what I like to do with this, again, I'm just doing this by hand, is I would squeeze like this. Now you can definitely score it. They're 1 3/4 inch, and you see how slowly I did that, so it still looks nice. You can just leave it like that and then close it up. Still looks cute, looks decent. I don't see anything wrong with that at all, and that's what I would do. But if you wanted to, you can score it in the middle of 1 3/4 to like maybe here or however. I'm just gonna leave it like this and then have that closed up whenever I get to it. But I did want to use the mandala dies. Where are they? I'll be right back. I'm so silly. I just put these to the side and then I was like, where are they? Let's see which one would fit. I mean, that one looks like it would fit really nicely, possibly. And that one's super cute too. Let's try this one. I'm gonna try this one. I'm gonna run it through this blue paper and I'll be right back. Guys, still in stock. I would be surprised, but this is the set from my diamond press, and you guys know I always have a 10% off code there for you. How pretty that is. So in my mind, I'm gonna have this here, and I'm gonna have this on top, right? I'll probably score it with a scoreboard just so that we know, like down here. I'm just looking, let me see, on the 5-inch line. It looks like right down here would be good. I'm just eyeballing this, guys. That looks like the middle. I hope I'm right. Okay. And there's not a lot, but there you go. Cute. So that'll be kind of over the top. Yeah. And then on top of that, I'll have some other cute things. So I haven't planned that quite yet, but I do like the little Christmas lights, and I like the colorway of like purples and blues. So I'm going to try to possibly, where are they? Use these little guys. And they have the little filament, they have cute little lights, and then the silver or whatever portion I want to put in the back. So I think they're a good size too though. Should I just do one? That's weird if you just did one, doesn't it? Isn't it? Maybe this doesn't work because it is a big bulb, a big light. Let me try cutting one out and see what it looks like. And, you know, I don't know, we'll go from there. So I will definitely use silver. I'll use a color that coordinates with, you know, these kind of things. A little bit frozen, a little bit cute kind of colors. And then, I don't know what color I'll put in the center here. Maybe just white. But I'll be right back. Just put this little guy together and then we'll see kind of how we want to use that. I'm assuming this goes all the way to the top. I kind of believe the kids only have one more week of school. I just realized that literally yesterday. I don't know why I thought they were getting out the following week, you know. I have nothing planned, but it'll be fun to just hang out, obviously. But yeah, I'm telling you. Holiday's coming up quick. Okay, I'm gonna hold that down and I'll be right back. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna put this together yet, but I'm thinking, so one of my other ones, what I did was just staple it, which obviously that means the person has to destroy it, but I think maybe what I'll do is I'll put some little holes with this kind of as my guide to see where I want those holes to be. So I'm kind of holding this together. And then maybe I put that on top, but let's see. It's a little bit tricky because this bag really wants to pop open. I'm gonna bring this closer to me. I'm so sorry, I know you won't be able to see it, but I'm basically just choosing this to kind of get in here, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Sorry guys. Just gonna give it a little pop. And then another one on the other side. Hopefully they're close to each other. I don't know. So I just brought that closer to me just to get that going. And I'm going to go ahead and close it because we're going to pretend that, you know, I have a little gift in here. Ooh, let's use this. Cute. Okay, so let me just cut some of this. I don't know. That's probably too much, but about 1.5 feet or so of this. Go through one side, go through the other. Again, you can close this up however you like. The handles are very cute. It's a good size. Let's get this in here. And yeah, this bag is very much wanting to pop open on me. Okay, there we go. I'm doing this with one hand, so hopefully you have someone to help you out. Or you can put some little tape in there and just glue it shut, you know. So I'm gonna put my finger on here. Sorry guys if I'm out of the thing, which I'm sure I am, out of frame. Cute. Oh my gosh. That is very cute. And then we have that little cute topper on there. And then I'd probably just glue this on, to be honest, or stick it down, or maybe even 3D foam just on there, or you know, I can do a whole thing down here, but I kind of want to keep everything up here. And maybe her little to and from, you know, like a little tag or something. So just an idea. Hopefully you like it. So again, this guy is 1 3/4 inches wide, exactly, at the bottom, at the top there, and it is about 5 3/4 inches tall, which is basically the measurements we had come up with. So another sweet little bag, lots of fun with pattern paper, of course. I think Miranda's really gonna love this, and her little friend will too, I'm sure. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all at the next one. Whatever I can link there will be there, and images are coming up. Bye now.